Hey, beautiful friends, Laurel here with Illuminating Souls, and it's a blessing to get to share with you today. It's been a while since I have made one of these videos, and so here's my intention for our time together. I'm going to share with you a little bit about what's been going on for me the last 6 weeks. I'm also going to share with you a bit more about the clutter you see behind me and how that factors into things as well as, in the next few days, we're going to be going into Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. And I find the Piscean energy to be a powerful, powerful time for self-reflection and healing work. And this is all segueing into the next cycle of Loved Up, which starts this coming Tuesday, March 5th, where our theme is going to be Replenish. And I'm going to share with you the inspiration behind that. So I'll start off by sharing on a very personal note that my mom passed away in February. She was 93 years old, and I'm 56 now, so I feel so blessed to have lived with um, my mom being on the planet this long. We found out at the end of December that she had an illness, and it was a wake up call for all of us to slow our lives down so we could have time together. And for me, that meant that I was going to slow down my business and go back to Chicago so I could be with her and take care of her and just steep in the love. And so she made her transition in February. And I've just recently come back to my home in Northern California. And um, I'm so grateful to have had the time with her that I did, not just during my lifetime, but over the past few months. That it really felt like a blessing that we got to be together. And so I'm making my way back into life, back into the world. And when my father passed away in 2003, one of the profound awarenesses I had from that experience was that there would be a grieving period, which intellectually I had made space for. Yes, when we lose someone we love, there's a grieving process. And so we're all aware of that, I think, and it's not a leap to make space for that. What I hadn't really understood was there would also be an energetic vibrational calibration because this person who had been on the planet holding such profound love for me had now shifted form. And so my relationship to life, my relationship to um, the energetic grid of the planet shifted. And so I felt a bit untethered and had to find what center was for me now. So having had that experience with my dad, I'm making space for that with my mom's transition too, that this isn't just about going through my grieving process and then jumping right back into life. It's about making space to acclimate, find my center. Who am I becoming in this process? And I think whenever we go through profound life change, whether it's change we're cultivating ourselves or change that is foisted upon us, that there's a calibration process of finding center. And it takes time, it takes breath, it takes patience to discover who am I in this. Um, so that's part of what I wanted to share with you, that I'm in this beautiful process. So I'm now back to work, which I love. As you know, my work fills me and fuels me and inspires me. So I'm starting to do angel sessions again. I'm continuing with my mentoring. I'm starting some new classes, which I love, which is awesome. The other big thing, though, that's been happening in parallel to this is before all of this happened with my mom, my husband and I made arrangements to do some repairs and renovations on our home. So all of that had entered the stream before we found out about what was going on with my mom. And what that's translated to is when I came home from all of this, I came into our house, which is sort of in chaos at the moment. So what you are seeing behind me is the staging of our kitchen because we're in the middle of renovations. So in the midst of all of this personal change and sorting through things. My physical home is also in a state of disarray, and um, as we get things fixed and repaired and put back together again, and anyone who's done any sort of home repairs, if you watched enough HGTV, you'll know that best laid plans and all that jazz, and it has its own timetable. As I said, we're in God time or contractor time. So this is a time for me of really coming to center, whatever that means. I'm not even sure I know what that means right now, but in the midst of so much change happening in my life, in my home, in my heart, in how I relate to the world, I'm guided to hold this as a holy and sacred time of not trying to push too hard to um, to get through this, to make space for it. So this is where the inspiration for the next 4 weeks of Loved Up comes from, that I'm calling Replenish. I knew that when I started this experience with my mom, that I would need time to acclimate. Again, not just the normal grieving process I think we all go through when someone we love crosses over, but that the world would feel different to me now, the way I experience it. That this profound love that had been so grounded for me in life is now changing form. And I don't know what it's changing into, but it'll change form and to make space for that. And also that this has been an exhausting time. It's been a lot of, I don't need to go into the details, you get what I mean. And so to make time to recalibrate and find center and come into the loving and refill my cup. So if you too are feeling like this is a time when you would like to replenish, whatever that means for you, when we enter a retrograde period, there's a lot that you can go and read about Mercury retrograde. I find that the retrograde periods are a time where all the re-words are really powerful. Reflect, review, re-engage, replenish. It's a time to go within and allow the molecules of consciousness to reassemble. We've all been going through such a profound time of transformation these last 18 months. And I don't know how this is showing up for you. Maybe you're just plowing ahead and you are on a roll and you are excited and you are invigorated, and that's wonderful. If you are, you still may love to do the replenish cycle, but especially if you've been going through some kind of transformative process, whether it has to do with health or relationship or your job or career or children going to college for the first time. When we go through these periods of transition in our lives, it is so helpful to take that breath and give yourself the sacred time to acclimate to who you are becoming in this process. We are always in a process of becoming. We are ever evolving beings, and we are always in a place of expansion and deeper understanding and connecting with inspiration and our soul whispers, and we are always shifting through a comfort zone. And so if this kind of process appeals to you, I want to invite you to join me for the next 4 weeks of Loved Up that starts on March 5th. It's going to be a gentle process. The angels are going to be with us. So if you haven't done Loved Up before, usually the first half hour, it's a live call. I'm waxing poetic about something, bringing forward a teaching, sharing about my experiences. And the second half hour, I channel Josephus and the Wisdom Council and the angels, and they bring forward more wisdom and usually lead us through an attunement to calibration, a guided meditation, something to support us and fill our cups and help us find center in the midst of whatever is going on. And in this particular journey of Loved Up, we are going to have 4 areas of focus. Right now, I have them broken up by week, but it doesn't mean that that's all we're going to be doing for that week. But week 1 is going to be about loving your body. So sometimes when these periods of transformation are happening, our bodies become an afterthought. I'll speak for myself. That's what happens for me. So this idea of being invited to love my body, to love, for you to love your body, whatever that's going to mean for you, whether that's up leveling your self-care, um, pampering yourself, engaging in a beautiful dialogue with your body, coming into something that feels more nutritionally helpful for you. There's going to be no handbook for how to do this, but in week 1, the angels are just inviting us to bring loving into our physical bodies. In week 2, we're going to be focusing on your emotional well-being. So how are you processing at the emotional level? What are your practices? How are you taking good care of yourself emotionally? Again, the angels will be helping us with this. Week 3, I'm just reading my notes, is navigating your thoughts and your mind. So at the mental level, how are you caring for yourself? What is your self-talk feeling like, looking like? What is the narrative or the stories you are writing within your own consciousness about your experiences? And then week 4, we're going to be focusing on your spiritual essence. So how are you connecting spiritually? Does it feel like there's a recalibration for you in terms of your spiritual practices? Maybe you've been doing a form of meditation for the last 4 years that now is falling a bit flat. So we're going to be bringing these areas of our lives into gentle focus under the overarching banner of replenishing ourselves, finding center, acclimating, calibrating, taking that big deep breath in as we sit in the sacred space of discovering who are we in the midst of this change? Who are we becoming? Who have we always been? So if this feels like this is your cup of tea, I invite you to join me. I'm so looking forward to this time together. And I also want to thank all of you, those of you who have reached out with emails and phone calls and messages, for your love and support during this time. I tend to be rather private when these experiences are happening, so I know I haven't been sharing a lot about it, and I hope I know you'll understand. But I want to thank you for the love and support you've shown me and my family during this time. My mom was such a beacon of love in my life and in this world. And she's the person who taught me how to love. She and my father both did, but especially my mom had a real gift of loving well. And so she shows up in my work in I don't mean this in a mystical way that, that she'll be showing up in our classes, but I mean more of the heart energy that I share in this work was really seeded um, by my parents. And so it's my blessing to get to share with you about my mom in this way. So have a beautiful day or evening, whenever it is you're listening to this. I send you love and I'm so grateful for you. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Blessings to you. Thank you.